After applying for 324 jobs, getting 9 interviews, and 0 job offers, I'm convinced that I'm just destined to be homeless.
I just graduated college and I am completely unemployed with no future job prospects.
Entry-level jobs in the United States of America are vanishing right now, and alarm bells are sounding over the state of the United States.
Entry-level jobs are damn near vanishing because every corporate position now requires some level of experience, and as a recent college grad, that has to be the most demoralizing thing.
Was that too dramatic? Honestly, I don't fucking know, bro. Because shit really getting serious out here, bro. Like, imagine if you 22 years old, you just graduated college, you did everything people told you to do, right? You went to school, you got the degree, you built the fucking LinkedIn, you know what I'm saying? Got your resume cooked up and all that good shit. And you finally ready to get your first real job, right? So you search on Indeed or LinkedIn or whatever, you search entry level, whatever the fuck analyst. You know what I'm saying? And there it is, the job of your fucking dreams, or at least in your field, right? Bachelor's degree required, Excel, Microsoft 365, some industry knowledge, whatever you went to school for, right? Internship preferred. Oh yeah, 2 years experience. Hold the fuck on. How am I supposed to get experience if I need experience to get the job that's supposed to give me experience? That's basically the experience paradox for you, man.
Entry-level jobs are damn near vanishing because every corporate position now requires some level of experience, and as a recent college grad, that has to be the most demoralizing thing that you can go through as someone that is new entering the workforce. When I got laid off 4.5 years ago, I thought it was going to be very easy to get a job, right? And I was interviewing after a month and a half, and I was like, whoa, this is actually insane. I had a lot of experience, but it took me 6 additional months, almost 8 months total, to find an actual position at a company. Recruiters are now shifting into looking for people that have legitimate experience and damn near poaching you from the company that you're already at. I have 1 to 2 recruiters in my LinkedIn DM week over week sending me positions. I pull up the actual job position and it'll show 100, 200 people have applied, but they want people with maximum experience. The difference between a job market now versus when I entered it 10 years ago, my first job, we went through full training processes, right? 2 months of training. Then when I left that job and went to my second company, a software company, 3 months training. Nobody wants to train anymore. They want an already made product. Before my senior year of college started, I interned at a company, finished top 3 in sales. They sent me an offer letter. I had a job before senior year even started. I was coasting. Now college kids are graduating and having no idea what to do and entering a workforce and competing against people with 7, 8, 9, 10 years of experience. How do you compare?
And millions of young college graduates and, just high school graduates in general, that's the first, step on the corporate ladder. It's starting to feel like it's moving way off the fucking ground, basically. You know what I'm saying? The traditional career path was pretty simple. You go to school, you get the entry level job, mid level job, senior to management. Like that's usually how it goes, right? But technology, the current political economic state of the world, Jaden Smith type shit, AI, corporate incentives are starting to change and mess with that traditional corporate ladder, what you say, right? And the biggest problem might not even be that AI takes everyone's jobs. It might be that, in my opinion, companies just stop hiring as many entry level people in the first place, right? Let me explain. So, to understand what's changing, we have to understand why companies even hire inexperienced people in the first place, because it honestly really doesn't make sense, right? Hiring someone who doesn't know what they're doing sounds like a terrible business model.
Entry-level jobs in the United States of America are vanishing right now, and alarm bells are sounding over the state of the United States job market and the economy writ large. According to Forbes, in the past 4 years, entry-level jobs have tanked 73%, the number of them. Inexperienced candidates are now welcomed in just 1 out of every 50 job openings out there. That's down from 1 in 15 in 2022. There are also 27% fewer salaried openings out there. So for new college graduates, good luck. There are just no jobs willing to hire entry-level folks. And the jobs that are, so many people are applying due to the scarcity in the number of jobs out there that it's nearly impossible to break in and get an interview. I mean, I talk to people every day, young people every day, those who are graduating college, those who are even graduating master's program. And they struggle to find a job, let alone a good paying job, because they just don't exist anymore. And now we're learning why. Spread the word. Full updates on my Substack, linked in bio, subscribe for free. Follow along to stay updated on all the news you need to know about.
Right? So you hire a 22-year-old, they barely understand the company, they need training, they ask questions, they make mistakes. And someone more experienced has to spend their own time teaching them, right? So why is that the traditional way, right? Because companies weren't hiring entry-level employees for what they could produce today. You hired them for what they could produce tomorrow, right? And, you'd start with the boring stuff, obviously, research, spreadsheets, documentation, scheduling, data entry, basic analysis, drafting reports, maybe some customer service type shit. And then you slowly learn the company, learn the business, learn how everything actually worked. Eventually, you will become a productive, employee, to take on bigger responsibilities. Let's say you become an analyst, then a senior analyst, and then a manager eventually, right? And then it would be your chance to train the next generation, right? So that system was a self-fulfilling system. The system reproduced itself, right? That's why the entry-level job wasn't just employment, right? It's basically the training layer of corporate America. And for decades, college fit neatly into that system, right?
I just graduated college and I am completely unemployed with no future job prospects. And I feel like this is such a fucking weird time in my life because no one ever prepared me for it. For so long, like literally when I was in elementary school, people would just be like, oh my God, just get your degree. Get your degree and you're good. Get your degree and you're good, right? So I did that and I'm in debt and I got my degree. And now like I'm applying to every fucking job like imaginable and it's not fucking enough. It's not enough. Every single job wants like 5 years of experience and a master's degree. And it's like, it's gotten to the point where having your undergrad degree literally feels like you just graduated high school. Like, no one wants to hire you. Everyone's like, okay, you need a lot of experience, you need this. And the economy is so bad right now that these like entry-level positions are being filled by people with master's degrees. And so it's like me and like literally most of my friends were completely unemployed. And like, thankfully we have places to go to, right? So we can go back home, right? A lot of people do not have that. A lot of people can't comfortably just go back and live with their parents. And so like, I'm grateful, but it's also extremely frustrating because it's like this lie that we're literally fed since we're kids that like, you just got to get your degree and everything is good is not even real. Like in my head, I'm like, okay, what if I don't want to get a graduate degree? Should I have literally just only finished high school and then just like started looking into like sales or like entrepreneurial positions? Like, why did I even get my undergrad degree if it's not going to benefit me? Why go in so much debt to literally just move home after getting my degree and do nothing, So I don't know what the fuck to do with my life. If you guys have any suggestions of like what you've been doing post-grad, if you're also unemployed, let me know.
You went to school, got credentialed, then a company finished your education by teaching you how to actually do the job. But over time, companies started changing the deal, right? Something strange happened to the definition of entry level, right? Companies increasingly wanted employees who could contribute faster, right? That's capitalism for you. They always want more from you, right? So that created a race among applicants, right? So take for example, candidate A, right? Candidate A has a degree, and candidate B has that same degree plus an internship. Obviously, candidate B looks better, right? So students started doing internships. Then candidate C shows up. This is where things get different. They have a degree, 2 internships, certifications, projects, and freelance work. Now candidate B doesn't look nearly as impressive. And pretty soon, the thing that used to make you exceptional becomes expected.
I graduated from college May of 2024, so a little over 2 years ago, with a bachelor's degree in data science. And despite having glowing reviews from my internship that I did post-grad from the director of the division that I worked in, I still do not have a full-time job in data science or anything in that general ballpark. And I'm about to go walk in to do a job interview for retail. Feels awesome.
Then AI showed up. And this is where things get interesting. Think about the tasks companies traditionally give those junior entry-level employees, right? Hey, summarize this document, research these companies, build this spreadsheet, draft this email, right? Analyze this data or whatever, create this presentation, write this basic code, take notes during this meeting, organize this information, right? Are you getting everything I'm saying right here? All of those things I just said, AI can do these things, right? And that's potentially a huge economic change because AI doesn't necessarily need to replace an entire occupation to change hiring. It just needs to automate enough of the tasks traditionally assigned to entry-level beginners.
After applying for 324 jobs, getting 9 interviews, and 0 job offers, I'm convinced that I'm just destined to be homeless. And the worst part is I am $117,000 in debt because some idiot convinced me that going to school and getting a degree was actually gonna get me. So I don't wanna hear go in person and apply for a resume. Mom, leave me the hell alone, that shit doesn't work. I was talking to one of my friends a couple weeks back, telling him about how bad I was struggling to get a job, and he managed to land a job. He has an associate's degree. How the hell did he get a job before me? But he told me he's been using this app called Sprout, and he's been auto-applying on there. And he applied to over 200 jobs in a week. It took me 4 months to apply for 300 jobs. He did it in a week. So by the time he got to month 2, where he was at 800 jobs, he actually got 2 job offers. So I'm gonna go try that. Seems to be a very trustworthy method. Pray for me, y'all.
You can create the evidence that you know how to work before someone gives you an actual job title. And that means portfolios, apprenticeships, internships, freelancing, certifications, and open source contributions, and even entrepreneurship could become increasingly important in bridging young people into careers, right? A resume says, I learned this. A portfolio says, I can do this. And employers increasingly seem more interested in the second one. Now, with that said, for generations, the career advice was straightforward. Go to college, get the degree, find an entry-level job, work your way up the corporate ladder, and eventually you'll build yourself a career. That path isn't 100% dead. Millions of people still follow it. But the first step is now changing. Companies increasingly want skills, experience, and proof of work. And now, AI literacy. The strange part is that we're still simultaneously telling young people you need experience while automating some of the tasks people historically use to gain said experience. And that's the real problem behind the death of the entry-level job. It's not that no one will hire beginners. It's that society may have completely rethink how beginners become experts because companies can automate tasks like reporting, research, and they can automate basic code. But there's one thing they can't automate forever: creating the next generation of experienced workers. And if companies stop building that generation, young people are going to have to start figuring out how to build themselves.